I've had no time to prep Duke.
Oh, mate.
But
this...
I know my Dukes. Yeah, I bummed this game, so I feel like I can get through. I've got the wiki page up as well, just in case. And
just in case, yeah.
I've just googled some facts, so we'll see what happens. We'll let it. We'll just let it flow. NUKEM can
like a stream of piss.
That's the one. That's when it smells like it too.
Yeah, which is what you can do in the toilet.
You can.
Yeah, and then you can drink the water after as well and gain your health back.
1 HP per sip.
I know, which is kind of like a little bit gross. I'm not gonna lie.
Yeah, I used to always do it though.
Yeah, me too.
If my health was down to about 32, I would press that button 68 times. Quick maths. I would press that button 68 times and get it back to 100, precisely 100.
Yeah, of course you would.
It made all the difference, I'm telling you. Right, let's get this show on the road. Intro. That sounded exactly like my Resident Evil 5 one.
What was that?
What's happening, troops? Welcome back to your weekly dose of nostalgic goodness. I am Liam, joined as always by bestest bud in all the world, Nick.
Hello, we are live. Do not dip your knob in jalapeno sauce.
Ooh, be a bit spicy.
Spicy.
We are broadcasting live on Twitch here at twitch.tv/RetroGakAttack. This is where you can catch the raw, uncut versions of RGA before it gets a lovely edit and it makes its way onto our YouTube channel. youtube.com/@RetroGakAttack.
Can't forget the at.
Can't forget the art. I tried looking again the other day to get rid of the art. You can't get rid of the art. You got to have the art. RGA is also available in audio form on all major podcasting platforms. Spotify, Apple Podcasts, Google Podcasts, etc., etc. All available through our Buzzsprout page, rga.buzzsprout.com. Find the best podcasting platform that suits you best. What are we talking about today, Nicholas?
We are talking about NUKEM.
NUKEM D3. Yeah, baby.
D3.
One of the finest first-person shooter games to ever grace planet Earth. Easily. It is one of the top echelon games of first-person shooting.
Like maybe 20 years ago, maybe. Fine. That's
No, for the audio listeners, I would say no.
You better watch how you swing that neck, mate. You're gonna snap your own neck with that fucking force.
No. We love Duke Nukem.
No. We do love Duke Nukem. Even though I got fucking fleeced.
Yeah, the thing is, it has in this day and age, it has been remastered to shit. It's been remastered and ported onto everything.
Oh, and everything.
So, like, the latest one is the World Tour that came out on the PlayStation 4 and the Xbox One and that.
Yep, and Switch. That's what I played on.
The Switch. And it's just... I just think it's obviously not a patch on modern day shooters now, but they've brought this game from 1996 to a more modern time, and it feels more like a modern game. It runs really well.
Yes,
I still think the levels are amazing. The enemies are all different. They all have different attacks and stuff. You got an awesome arsenal of weapons that you get to use with Nuke, and. It's, the humor's a bit cheese. It's just all cheese. Very dated now. It was very much of the time. The 90s. Yeah. It's 90s toilet humor.
Yeah, Duke Nukem is a 90s cultural icon.
Yeah, that's his big, buff, blonde, sunglasses wearing action hero, isn't he?
You've also got to think of like the actual influences of his character. I mean, you've got Bruce Campbell,
Ashley Williams, baby.
Arnold Schwarzenegger. There's bits of Rowdy Piper in him. I mean, who else? There's all your 90s action. There's all kinds of influences in this one character.
Yeah. And then this game did receive a sequel, an infamous sequel, which took 13, 14, 15 years to make. Duke Nukem Forever. I still stand by it's not as bad as people make it out to be, but it's not great.
I still have that Duke Nukem bust ready.
You have that. You should have brought that out for this episode specifically.
I would not even entertain the fact that I had to go to my sister-in-law's attic to find him and my boxes of games to bring him here so he can look me dead in the eye and be full of regret.
We could have We could have replaced your little frame with just big Duke bust
with no arms.
With no arms. We'll doodle some arms on in post-production.
Mate, you're really good at drawing, so yeah. You do that.
I'm terrible at drawing.
Dick arms.
Right, for those people that don't know, Duke Nukem 3D is a first-person shooter video game developed and published by 3D Realms. Released on April 19th, 1996, Duke Nukem 3D is the third game in the Duke Nukem series and a sequel to Duke Nukem 2. Have you ever played 1 and 2?
I want to say I have at some point, but I do not remember. I've played so much Duke that I cannot remember when the first time I played it or what machine it was. I remember I played it on the SNES. I'm sure I played it on the SNES. I definitely played it on the 64, but I'm sure I played it on the SNES. But I mean, I played that much Duke. I don't remember. I genuinely don't remember.
I think I've messed with Duke 1 and not played Duke 2. But like they're different. This is Duke Nukem 3D. They made Duke Nukem 3 dimensions, not really 3D. It was like cheeky 3D at the time, but it's 3D. These were 2D side scroller shooters. 3D. Yeah, rendered 3D, like Doom was, and Blood, and Wolfenstein, and Quake, and Quake was 3D.
Although Quake was actually 3D.
Quake was 3D. Quake was one of the first ones. The Star Wars one, Dark Forces or something.
Yes.
I've heard that's amazing. I do kind of want to, because it's the Duke Nukem 3D style, I kind of want to play it.
Yeah.
The game was a commercial success and has seen numerous console ports, expansion packs, and special edition re-releases since its debut. It continues to maintain a strong fan base, which has generated hundreds of mods and thousands of user maps.
Yeah.
And then it got a sequel that
they're still going on today. The mods and the user maps.
Yeah, same with
you still getting access
Doom and that. That's the one thing I wish with before we delve into the actual game itself, playing Duke Nukem World Tour, which does give you an extra episode with brand new levels.
Yeah.
Which is amazing. That's what I played about a month ago when I jumped back on Duke, which gave me the idea of us talking about it. That was the episode I played, and they are actually amazing levels.
Is it the Alien Queen?
No, that's the Birth.
Is it?
That's the one that came out with the Atomic Edition, which isn't available in Duke Nukem World Tour.
I know. Yeah,
this is my point that I'm going to get to.
Yeah.
Is there's no definitive edition of Duke Nukem 3D.
Is it like an atomic something edition, which had like the neon-y PC case, didn't it? And it had all the mods of Duke and I'm sure I'd seen the thing. And it was like Duke It Out in DC and
Life's a Beach.
Life's a Beach, and they had loads of which were player mods, which were player maps.
It's funny you mentioned this.
Ooh, because it's not in World Tour, is it? None
of them are in World Tour. You get the original 3 episodes, which came out on the very first edition of Duke Nukem 3D, and then you get this brand new one. Did I already name it? I can't. Is it just called Duke's World Tour or something? I can't remember what it's called.
Exactly.
Anyway,
whatever
it's called, the new episode. But there's nothing else.
Yeah.
And this is the latest edition of the game.
Yeah.
But I remember years ago, I got what was the latest re-release at the time on Steam, which was called Duke Nukem 3D, the Megaton Edition.
Yeah.
Which
I think I've got it on Steam as well.
Absolutely had the Life's a Beach, Duke It Out in DC. There was another one, I can't remember what that one was called.
There was 4 or 5 of them.
And it had The Birth, which was the first 4th episode. And it had the original 3. And then it had the mods, the user-created stuff. Yeah. So I thought, why am I playing Duke's World Tour Edition when I could be playing that one? Because my crappy laptop will run that, no problem.
Yeah.
So I reinstalled it. There ain't no Duke out on DC on it. There ain't no Life's a Beach on
Taking it off.
I think they've taken them off. I think since World Tour got released, I think they've taken them off because it's a better version of the game.
I didn't think they would allow to do that.
I've not looked into it, but I am like 95% sure it had all the DLC, the original expansion packs.
Bastards.
And then World Tour came out, which didn't have this lot. And they've gone, this is a better version of the game. Get rid of those things and just have the user-generated maps, which is fine. But I want the original expansion packs because they're good. Yeah. They're good expansion packs. They're really good.
Yeah.
So yeah, that
it's a bit annoying.
Yeah, World Tour is if you want the best controlling Duke game on a console. Yep. Duke Nukem World Tour, the latest one.
Yes, and
play
smooth as butter, like.
Yeah, and play the new episodes, the most up to date, because they're very good levels. They're well designed.
Yeah,
it's good fun. But if you want to play, use
everything
maps and everything else, play the Megaton edition, I guess, or just go on a PC because it is the superior way to play Duke Nukem.
I didn't realize, that we can actually, me and you, my good buddy, old pal. We could play Duke Nukem World Tour co-op.
Even on your Switch and me on the PlayStation?
I think so.
Ooh. Duke Coops!
I know, Duke Coops would be amazing.
It was still the best thing about Duke Nukem 64.
The multiplayer.
Yeah, co-op. Me and my cousin would be bumming Duke Nukem co-op because this is, it was always Duke Nukem 64, GoldenEye was always my thing, like which one? Because I loved them both. Yeah. But only one of them let you play the main game with two players.
Oh, yeah, I know.
So me and my cousin would bum Duke Nukem 64.
Yeah.
GoldenEye is the more... What's the word?
Better game.
It's a more polished game. It's...
Better game.
No. I still prefer Duke. But I think it's because I played so...
doesn't mean it's a better game.
I played so much more of it, so I prefer Duke Nukem 3D 64. But Duke Nukem 64 didn't have any music.
No, it didn't.
And it didn't occur to me when I was younger.
I mean, there's not a lot of music in some of the levels anyway. It's ambient noise. There is literally just silence. Yeah,
apart from Duke 3D, apart from the first level, really, there isn't a lot of iconic songs, like memorable. No, but the first one's just dead simple. It's do 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 do. It's just that, and it's cool and it suits the level. But I don't remember any of the songs from the rest of the game.
No, I see when you're in the alien ship and it's just like dun.
Yeah,
dun,
just like atmospheric.
It's just drawn out for a while and then dun.
And that was the thing when I played 64. Which had no music. It didn't really... I don't think the game needed music.
It doesn't.
Because most of the sounds... You got all the sound effects of the guns, the aliens, and all of Duke, which we'll go through in a bit, but it's... Most of the noise is filled with Duke speak. And it's...
Yeah. And him interacting with everything.
And it's the best... It's one of the best... It's the best part of the game. It's just, what's he going to say next?
I was going to say, literally, I mean, as much as the game is a good, well-polished game, it is Duke and his one-liners, which takes the game over from being a good game to an awesome game.
Voiced by the legendary John St. John, awesome name, who's been Duke forever, basically.
Forever. Yeah.
From Duke 3D till forever.
Yeah. And I love the fact that they brought him back as well for World Tour. They've actually put new voice lines
updated
in.
Sort of.
Yeah,
that's
which is pretty good.
I just hope... I hope it isn't the end of Duke, like Duke Nukem Forever, Duke Nukem World Tour. I think he is a like we said before, he's a product of the 90s, the character of Duke Nukem. But in the same way as with God of War, the original God of War series with Kratos, who's just a bloodthirsty murderer because he was tricked into killing his wife and child, so he just wants to slay all the gods and murder everyone. They still managed to make an amazing sort of U-turn on his character.
Yes.
With the God of War reboots.
Yeah.
They made him into he's still that guy, but he's sort of learning to become a better person through his son.
Yeah.
So I'm not saying make Duke 2024 or whatever and give him kids. Don't do that. You could incorporate some sort of kid thing into it as a joke.
Mini Dukes.
Yeah, but I think they could. There will be ways to alter the Duke character to make him a bit more appropriate for the modern day.
But that's the thing, though. You take away the magic that makes Duke who Duke is.
Yeah, because he's still got to be 90s,
is that 90s sort of edge.
Yeah,
and the fact that you can say things and you do things in the game that you cannot get away with now.
Yeah,
unfortunately, due to the society that we are in. Someone would take offense.
Someone's always going to get offended by something.
Exactly. Yeah, and then all of a sudden, cancel culture comes in, and yeah. I mean, the only thing I can think they do is, like you say, they've made a new level for this. Maybe drop another couple of levels in that game, but I don't think a brand new game.
They could always have used this world tour with the brand new episode almost as like a test to see how many people, and obviously the target audience and that will buy world tour, whether it's people like us who played it as, when we were younger, wanting to relive Duke again with new episodes, or if it's like brand new people that just want to play, because people like retro, don't they, even if they're not of the 80s and 90s, 70s. There's some people just like retro. So they would see Duke World Tour and go, oh, this is something looks like it's something from the 90s. I'll give it a go. So I'd love if they made that extra episode for World Tour as a test run to see if they made a new Duke 4D or something like that, but kept it in, the pixely, the sprites and stuff, the 2D, 3D thing, and made just a whole new Duke game out of it. That would be cool.
It would be,
but that's the same with what I've got with Resident Evil as well. I want them to not give up, but I want them to just give one more go to the fixed camera, old school tank controls game. Just make a whole brand new Resident Evil game in that style, but 2023 or 2024 in a month.
I know, correct.
But I would just love for them to do that, and like a new Duke like that could be quite cool. Just a whole brand new Duke Nukem.
It would be.
They do it with Mario all the time. They still do it with Sonic all the time. They rehash what worked in the past, don't they?
Yeah, but the problem with them though is they are aimed at kids and they are timeless.
Yeah.
Duke is defined by his time, and unfortunately, his time has come.
Duke is a big weapon. I love it.
Yeah, no, me too. I absolutely love him, but it's hard to, like you say, not put something out there that's not going to offend anyone.
Yeah, but then
and you beat so we'll keep going around this in circles. We're going to keep going around in circles, and that's the problem.
What they've either got to do is they've either got to go the route of trying to pussyfoot around people and make it a bit sort of thingier, alter the Duke character a little bit,
Yeah.
Or you just go the total opposite way, balls to the wall. This is Duke Nukem, get fucked.
Yeah.
I would love that one.
The game. Yeah, me too.
I would love that one. But some snowflakes out there would be like, this is so offensive.
I think that's why Forever was also a big problem with Forever is that they couldn't have got away with. Yeah, they tried to get away with some of the stuff, and it did fall very flat. Some of them. So
I genuinely would like to do Duke Forever as an episode one day, because I can tell you now, as much as you loathe it.
I don't loathe it. I just loathe the fact that I was duped into fucking games.
Yeah, but that's your fault. You bought the bust, mate. That's on you. That's on me. You've got to live with that till you die.
I know. Mate, he's going in the coffin with me.
Can he just sit next to your gravestone so everyone can admire Dookie?
No, because this is fucking Halloween. Someone would probably try to fucking steal it off my grave.
Well, we'll put Gorilla Glue underneath then. Plonk it on you like Sword in the Stone. Oh, funny. Oh, I've lost my trail of thought now as well.
Sorry,
that's what we do. Anyway, Duke Nukem. What are your earliest memories and fondest memories of Duke.
So like I said, I don't generally remember the first time. I'm sure
I do.
You've gone check if it was on the SNES. I'm sure it was on the SNES.
Dookie Duke 3D.
Oh, there was a Duke Nukem game on the SNES.
I think there was. It was on the Mega Drive. It was like it was one of the most inferior ports of the game. It's terrible.
Yeah, I know. I'm just trying to find out if it was. I'm sure it was. Because if that was the case, then that would be my first.
It's not.
It's not.
Like the beauty of this game, it has pretty much been on every console apart from the SNES. It's been on.
So I wonder why I played it on then.
This is the beauty of Duke Nukem 3D. You
Would
ready?
it be on 64? Go on.
Duke Nukem 3D platforms. Android, Game.com, Grip Games, iOS, Linux, Mac, Nintendo 64, Nintendo Switch, PC, MS-DOS, PlayStation, PlayStation 3, PlayStation 4, PlayStation Vita, Sega Genesis, Sega Mega Drive, Sega Saturn, WebOS, Xbox Live Arcade, Xbox One, and other unauthorized ports. Dookie Dukes has been on everything.
Then. It must have been on PC then.
I'd imagine so.
Yeah, I generally cannot remember. That's the worst thing about it. But I know that I definitely had played it. And I mean, at the time, it was very much like, this is just a Doom clone.
Yeah, definitely.
It is.
I think this is one of the first instances of where they were trying to improve on Doom rather than just copying it.
Mm-hmm.
They were trying to
definitely
take it that next step.
The fact that you add
talking character
humor and the talking character, it makes it. So, I mean, yeah, it's a Doom clone, but adding that in actually makes it a completely different game. And the fact that there was a story as well. You know, I mean, there's a story
very minimal.
In Doom it is minimal. But in here, you're like, right, okay, so aliens have crash landed on Earth and, you know, stolen all the women, and, you know, Duke's like, I'm gonna get my babes back.
Yeah, man.
You know what I mean? And that is literally
it's the most B-movie action movie.
Yeah, and that definitely helps in it as well, isn't it? It does it, but it helps in its favor. And yeah, I mean, there's not a lot that we've not already said with Doom that isn't applied to Duke Nukem.
Yeah,
you know. It is. It's a lot more. I'd say a bit more polished.
Yeah, I'd say it has to be. It's 3 years newer as well, isn't it? It's 3 years into the future from Doom.
Yeah,
Doom 2.
I mean, I'm not gonna lie. Like the bad guy sprites all looked amazing.
They look better,
They look really good.
Yeah.
I mean, you can definitely tell who's an enemy and who's not an enemy, and the one thing I always love, and it's the same. It was the same with Doom. It's like when you're moving around them in the 3D environment, like they just rotate.
They follow you. Yeah.
I
love it.
You. I love that. Yeah. It's such a simple little thing, but it's so good.
It's like anyone, you know, not of that era that sees that in the game probably now sort of goes, what's going on? But to us, it was normal. You know, when we saw that happen, you didn't think twice. It was just, there's the dead bad guy. Yeah, he's following me whenever I run around him, but who cares? He's dead.
And there's also the difference between that and Doom as well, is like when you shoot a bad guy and like you don't kill them, like the basic aliens, and they drop to their knees and they're like,
oh yeah, and they're choking on their own blood.
They're choking, yeah. And you can either shoot them or you can just kick them in the head a couple of times and they explode.
That's something I love as well. That, you know, like with Doom, it was the punch with the brass knuckles or the spiked knuckles, whatever it was. In this, it's Doom's mighty boot. It's not just like a kick.
And
it's
I love the fact it comes up on top, enabled.
Yeah, mighty boot enabled, mighty boot engaged.
It's always enabled.
Yeah, it's funny.
Oh. Well, I mean, like, what have you got? You've got your basic aliens. You've got your pig cops, which is a.
Oh, the dog's here. Oh,
hello, doggo.
Come say hi. Don't knock my Guinness over. Look, Bobby's here to talk about Duke Nukem.
Hello, Woofers. Hello, Woofers.
What
do you think about it?
Yeah, what's your favourite part of Duke Nukem 3D from 1996 when you weren't even here?
Oh, he's licking that Guinness off your lips.
I know, yeah. Don't knock the Guinness, bro.
Hasty.
Nice seeing you.
no. But you've got Pig Cop, which is, I mean, it's terrible now, but back in the 90s,
Yeah, but it's the joke, isn't it?
I know.
If you know,
To be
you
fair,
know.
it kind of applies today to some of the dickhead ones. So you've got them. You've got who else have you got? The Brains. What are the brain ones called again? The
Octobrains.
Is it Octobrains? I was literally going to say Octonauts.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure they're the Octobrains. It's the one thing I don't think I've got on the wiki.
That's why I'm fucking.
They're horrifying.
They are, aren't they? It's the noise of yeah, and the fact that it can hit you from fucking miles away as well with the sight. Blast.
Yeah, it's horrible.
Mm-hmm.
And you got the machine gun wielding guys. Well, it's the chain gun in 3D, and they have the two submachine guns in 64.
Mm-hmm.
The black clothes wearing guys. I don't think
you've got the suicide drones. I fucking hated them.
They're annoying. Like sometimes you could take one shot at them and they'd explode, and then other times you take about 7,000 shots and they would just sort of and then just come and kill you.
Mm-hmm.
But there's always a trick with them. If you're behind a closed door and you sort of hug that door that they're behind, if you sort of touch their hitbox, they blow up on the other side of the door and you don't get hurt.
I didn't know that. Oh,
yeah.
There you go.
Man knows Duke Nukem 3D.
And then you've got your big fat floaty guys that shoot the rockets from the I love the rockets from the bum hole.
They've we always used to brick it whenever we got to that stage of the game in 64 because they took a lot of hits. God, yes. They were bullet sponges.
Yeah.
But then their attack was a missile launcher.
Mm-hmm.
So yeah.
And then I mean, who else? I'm trying to remember.
Enemies. I found the enemies.
You got them.
Yeah. Some of them aren't going to be like.
Yeah. You've got some of the aliens that teleport as well. I've just remembered them. So that you can be shooting at them and they teleport behind you and get you.
The regular enemies. I've lost it now. That's annoying. Oh, God. The bog standard enemies are called assault captains. That's a cool ass name for the basic enemies.
Yeah, it's a waste of a name for the grunts.
Yeah. See, this is the problem already with the names. They're not very obvious what they are because you've then got the assault commander, who is
the one that disappears.
No, he's the bullet sponge who shoots missiles. Yeah, so this is the issue they've got.
Yeah.
Who else have we got? The assault trooper, I think, is the bog standard guy that wears green.
Mm-hmm.
So the other one wore red. Assault trooper wears green.
There you go.
Because, yes. You also have the Battle Lord Sentry is the Battle Lord.
So the Battle Lord, because the Battle Lord's the main first boss.
First boss of episode 1.
And the other missions, he's like a mini boss.
I love that they bring them back.
He's the best. Yeah, but he's the best one out of all of them, I'd say.
No.
Yeah.
I love the Overlord.
The big fat one.
Yeah.
Like who
shoots the missiles at you, and you've got to just keep strafing.
I know, but I just like him because he's got the big sort of jaw face and.
Yeah.
And he's just cool.
I like that he's got the minigun and he's also got a grenade launcher thing as well.
Yes, yeah.
What was that then? You got the Cycloid Sentry. He's the main bad. He's the final boss. The Cyclops.
Yeah, that you pumped his eye when you kill him.
Yeah. I love that as well. I love that you've got sort of the mini cutscenes at the end.
Yeah, you've got little FMVs when you think.
Because with my favorite. With the Overlord, I'm sure Duke says because you fall into his little pit, and then he comes out of a massive door. What does he say? I'm gonna tear off your head and shit down your neck.
Yes,
and he actually does.
And the FMV does.
So you kill the boss, and he takes the shit down his neck. It's so funny
watching the FMV because it's literally just the full thing though, isn't it? He takes off his jetpack and he falls on the floor and
pulls his kegs down.
The zip, and you just see it from behind. And he gets out a newspaper,
and he starts whistling the Duke Nukem theme. It's amazing.
So good.
It's the best. You don't get games like this anymore, man.
I know, and with the Battle Lord, like he's down on the floor, isn't he? And he's like, "Ugh," and Duke's like literally just a fucking shotgun to his
Yeah,
head,
it just
like,
blasts his head off. Yeah.
blast his fucking head off. Yeah.
You got the
They're
enforcer.
really good, actually.
The enforcer's the minigun, the little machine gun guys in black with big nose rings.
Yeah.
You got the Firefly Trooper, who are new enemies. They're the ones that show up in the World Tour. They're the ones with flamethrowers.
Okay. I've not played that new level. I wanted to go through all of them.
You need to play that episode. It's really good.
Yeah, I wanted to go through all of them, but I barely just made it through the first one. Ellie meltdown.
Oh, I can smash that in like 10 minutes.
But it's been that long since I've actually played it. Like, I got lost quite a lot. I'm not gonna lie. Like,
did you? Oh, I know it like the back of my hand. You know. I know where all the secret levels are and everything. It's great.
I don't know. See, like 10, 15 years ago, I probably would have been able to actually been the same. But it's been that long since I've played it. So when you like, let's play, it's like, oh my god, yeah, I'll get to play that. It's been awesome. And I'm playing it, and I'm like, where am I going?
Yeah. They are quite like maze-like
levels.
Yeah,
they are
in
big levels.
In comparison with Doom, they're big levels. Some of them.
Yeah. And there are, like you say, there are some like crossing paths where you do have to cross over or go back and thingy. And for the most part, it's pretty straightforward. But there are like 1 or 2 levels where if you don't go to the right place, if you don't find it, you are just literally just walking around in circles, until you find it. There's no clue or anything like that.
Because like Doom as well, you've got, I think majority, if not all levels, have the 3 key cards as well. So at some point, you're going to have to find a red, blue, yellow key to progress further and do.
Which, again, is a product of its time.
Yeah, you just don't really get that. You get keys and that in some games now, don't you? But it's
it's
never the red key for the obvious red door.
Yeah.
There's a couple more. You got the Protozoid Slimer, the face huggers. The little green face huggers. Hatch out the eggs, which are very obvious alien references.
Yeah.
There's a lot of alien and aliens in Duke 3D.
Yeah.
Who else have we got? You got the shark as an enemy. The shark isn't in much of the original game.
I think it's only like 2 levels, isn't it? A shark.
There's a level in the World Tour. Is it? It's basically the World Tour. Each episode is set in a different city in the world. And one of them is
there one in London?
There is a London one.
Oh my god!
Yeah, I'm pretty sure there is a London one.
I'm here to see the Queen and kick her in the cunt
and shit down her neck. I think it's the Golden Gate Bridge.
You'll be wearing my crown at the end of the day.
Oh dear. Cancelled.
Oh god, I know.
R.I.P. Queenie.
Hashtag not my king.
Oh
Christ.
Yeah, the bosses. We've named pretty much all the bosses, I think.
Yeah.
The Battle Lord is the first one. The Overlord is the second one. The Cycloid Emperor is the main boss of the original game. Then you got the Alien Queen, who's the birth final boss.
Yeah.
And then World Tour. World Tour's she does. Yeah, probably. Yeah. The World Tour is a bit of a cheap one. Is the Cycloid Incinerator. So the main original boss, but he's got a red paint over him and he does fire.
Lovely.
But it's still, it's still cool.
Yeah. So I mean, your 3 story. I mean, your enemies are good. I mean, the story that follows on, like you say, Duke's got to save the women. LA Meltdown is going through essentially LA, isn't it? Really, and you end up in the desert.
Yeah.
And you find out where the crash alien ship is, and you go down and you battle the Lord, and
then you end up in space.
Did you go to space? Yes, and a lot. I think the second episode isn't as good as the first or third.
I like Lunar Apocalypse.
Do you?
I was just so fascinated with the fact that you were in space.
Yeah, no, I was the same.
I think that was my thing with it. And I loved because the first episode's set on Earth and it's, you know, all the doors and anything you interact with is all Earth-like stuff.
Yes.
I like that then in the second one, because that's one of the main things, you know, upgraded from Doom is the amount of things you can interact with.
Yes. Oh god, you can interact with everything.
Which they did a good job with in Nukem Forever. That was like a big part of it, is you could basically interact with everything.
I'm sure there was an achievement to interact with like 1,000 items.
Probably,
or something like
but
that.
it boosts your max health as well, your ego in Duke Forever. So you're benefiting by interacting with everything, doing weights,
pressing square and everything.
Yeah, just doing everything, drawing doodles on things and grabbing a turd from the toilet. But yeah, just the fact that you can interact with all this stuff, and I just love that in the Lunar Apocalypse second episode, you've got all this space stuff.
I mean, it's been a while since I've played it, but on the alien doors, they look like sphincters.
There's some, and they make like sounds sometimes. But I love that you're in space and you're on an alien spaceship and stuff like that.
Cool. I know. And I do remember like looking outside and seeing space and the stars and everything. You're like, that's pretty cool, actually.
Yeah, and there was definitely a glitch in Duke 64 that me and my cousin would always try, where there's in one of the levels, I think it's one of the later ones, you've got like it's not an elevator, it's like, say like a Diddy ship that you can go into and it takes you to like a different sector.
You to the other side. Yes, I
remember.
So it like
goes it goes sideways. There was always a way where you'd be able to open the door and that ship wouldn't be there. Or something like that. So and you would be able to walk out into the space where it's obviously bugged and that. But if we ever managed to do it, it's like, oh my god, we're in space. You know, Duke Nukem's in space. Look at us go. And eventually just explode and die or whatever if you hit like a dead zone. But it was just that thought of you know, wow, we're in space.
Yeah.
But yeah, I love that episode. Ends with the Overlord fight.
Yep.
You know, you kill him, shit down his neck and all that.
Yep, lovely.
Lovely game. And then episode 3, you're back on Earth. Shrapnel City.
Yeah.
Where he says one of my favourite one-liners when you start the first level. Is it raw meat? I think it's raw meat. It's the first level.
I don't remember the names of them.
And it's the quote from They Live. It's the Roddy Piper quote. Or like tweet. And I'm all out of gut. It's just we used to love that when we were...
That's literally that is quote for quote Roddy Piper.
Yeah, me and my cousin, we would always start that episode just to hear him say that, and then we'd be like, yeah, let's go, Duke's up for it, so we're up for it too, yeah. We're chewing gum in our mouths as well because we're weapons.
God, trash.
But yeah, it's basically just more Earth levels.
Yeah. A lot of it's underwater, if I remember as well.
There's a lot of underwater stuff.
Yeah.
And I was totally fine with all the underwater stuff in Duke. I think it controls so well underwater.
It's not too bad. It's not the worst.
It's not a huge like alteration from when you're on land. Really, it's just you've got your jump takes you up, your crouch takes you down.
Takes you down. Yeah.
And he pretty much goes at the same pace when he's swimming.
I know he does. Yeah, if you're on the run button, you go. And
like that's a big thumbs up from me. That I think the underwater stuff.
My only drawback with that though is if you don't have the
scuba gear.
Scuba gear, you burn through your fucking health really quick.
I think when I was much younger and I didn't know what I was doing, I'd quite often not have scuba gear and I'd drown all the time.
Yeah.
But like, I think as I just play through it naturally now, I always seem to just
you do find it. Yeah,
there's always plentiful amount as long as you don't dick about underwater.
Yeah,
there's always plentiful amount of scuba gear in the levels.
Yeah,
to help you traverse each level.
Yeah.
As you need to.
Just one of them ones that if you miss something that's underwater and you spend an age going somewhere and you're like, oh fuck, this door's not open and I've got to go back and I'm still underwater and then gotta go back and then there's more water after that period. That's the only kind of like drawback. But I mean, even then, it's minimal, isn't it? You know, as long as because if you die, then you know what you need to do. Saying that, dying in World Tour on these current gens, you've got the rewind system.
Yeah, which is a massive cheat.
Which is, oh god, yeah,
it's so handy though, because I died a lot when I was messing about the other.
Oh mate, I fucking died tons. Like this past week.
It's so easy to die in Duke. Like the amount of getting crushed, getting exploded, and you're just dead like that.
Even just the pit cops with a fucking shotgun. If you don't get them dead within literally 5 seconds, I'm seeing you. Like they pump you full of fucking shotgun ammo, and you're dead. Your health gets fucking rinsed.
With the pig cops, who are like the second enemies you come across in the game.
Yes.
If you don't have body armor, you're fucked. If you don't have cover or body armor, you're knackered against the pig cops.
Oh no! I'm literally when I find them, I'm like, shoot, hide.
Duke's one of them games as well where games like Resident Evil where you get like a shotgun or a grenade launcher. You sort of like, I'm saving that for the big bads.
Yes. Yeah.
So you still go around with your pistol.
Yeah.
Duke's one of them. When I get a good gun, whoa, that good gun's getting whopped out and I'm smashing everyone with it. But that's the beauty of Duke, I think. Ammo's so plentiful and there's so many weapons.
Well, I mean, I wouldn't go say for that, folks. I mean, there's a couple of times that I was like, fucking, all I had was my pistol. I'd run out of ammo.
Really? I always seem to be all right with Duke, you know. I'm always all right with the amount of ammo.
Getting to the first boss, and I had max rocket launchers. And I had Max, the railgun things. And literally, he's such a bullet sponge that went rinse through all of that, and I literally had my shotgun and my pistol. And I think I had 17 for my pistol and 6 for my shotgun. And I was like, well, that's me fucking done.
Pretty much.
Stood in the lava in the middle and died, so I could rewind.
But there's also there's a lot of ammo scattered around every boss as well.
Yeah.
I mean, it's not the most obvious thing when you're in the arena, because
getting fucking pummeled with
you get there. They're normally like you say, the Battle Lord. It's like a bit of a a
big circle,
bit of like hexagony maybe.
Yeah.
But because the guns are this big at a distance and they're not super obvious.
Yeah,
and you've got a big honking monster there shooting
grenades at you. He's coming at you quick as well. Yeah. All of them don't give you time to breathe.
No,
they're literally you fucking.
In that moment, you're not going to think, I'm just going to trot about and look for weapons now. No, because you're getting battered by him and the little cronies that are scattered around.
The run button to fucking make sure you don't get battered. I know.
Yeah.
No.
Quickly, while we're speaking about the weapons,
this
is a list of all the weapons in Duke Nukem 3D.
Oh, here we go.
Do they get the thumbs up or the thumbs down from you, my good friend?
Okay, here we go.
The mighty foot.
Oh, mate, thumbs up. Man.
The pistol. It's fine. It's a pistol.
It's a pistol, isn't it?
It's what you need to kill the easy people. The shotgun.
Oh, easy. Yeah, any shotgun's good.
The chain gun cannon.
Yeah, it's fine.
Yeah, there's better machine guns in games. Mm-hmm. The RPG.
Anything, yeah, of course.
The pipe bomb.
Right, it's a double.
It has its moments. At times, it seems like the most pointless thing in the world. Mm-hmm. But there's some portion. I love some portions of the game where
if you crawl X in the wall.
Yeah. To get to blow the secret areas up. Or I like if you're in the vents and you knock out the grate or whatever.
Yeah.
And there's a drop. I love just pinging a pipe bomb out and just seeing if you hear that cry of a dead monster. It's great.
Yeah.
Stuff like that.
I know. The pipe bomb is, I always throw it, and then I always think, am I too close? Am I too close? And I always try and move back, and I think I will move back, so I move back, and I still set off, and I still take damage, and I feel like I'm 10 miles away.
The best thing about the pipe bombs is that you can throw multiple of them.
Oost. And I always find as well sometimes if I've ran out of ammo and all I've got is pipe bombs and I'm trying to kill bad guys and I'm throwing it, but I'm trying to run and strafe them, that I throw it and it bounces on the floor and I pick it back up.
Yeah, you collect
on the other side. I'm like,
the shrinker, the shrink ray.
Down. Yeah,
I like the idea of it.
It's great for the first couple of kills when you shrink them and then you squish them in your boot. Yeah. But after that, you're just you can't use it on bosses or anything like that. You can't use it on big guys.
I think they take minimal damage from it because they cry. You know, they do the damage cry if you hit them with it. But
yeah,
The better version, the expander.
Oh yeah, blow them up.
Expander's
Yeah,
awesome because it blows them up, and there's an AoE thing with it as well.
yeah,
So people around take a lot of damage. So the Devastator.
Yes.
Yeah, Devastator's awesome.
Yeah, it's awesome.
The laser trip bomb. I like the idea of setting up little traps.
Pie bomb. Yeah, it's awesome to actually be able to lay traps, but at the same time, like you've got to really think about where you're laying them because there's been plenty of times that I've lain around thinking, oh, that's mate, they're going to walk through there, and then they don't walk through. So then you like try and like entice them in, and then you get too close to it yourself and fucking blow yourself up.
They're just a less useful pipe bomb. You can only stick them on the wall somewhere, and you've got to hope that someone goes across it.
Yeah,
but
I know, and the thing is as well, is it like when you play multiplayer or whatever, if you do it normal height, you can duck underneath.
Yeah.
Whereas if you do it low, you can jump over.
Me and my cousin always had strategies with the laser trip bombs. We used to use them a lot. The flamethrower, no, freeze thrower. I read wrong.
Freeze one, yes, yeah.
Freeze thrower is a bum for me.
Right.
I like the idea of you can freeze them, but then you have to go up to them and then kick them, and then you can only. It's like. Yeah, it's one.
I know, but at least it's better than the shrink one. At least you can freeze.
It's better than the shrink one. Yeah, shrink ray is the button weapon, and you got the incinerator, which was added, which is the flamethrower, which is it's actually it's fine. It's fine. Yeah, it creates like a little pool of lava where you shoot.
Yeah, flamethrowers in any games is pretty good.
So it's fine. It's fine. Does it have? I wanted to. See, it doesn't have the Duke 64 weapons because some of the weapons are different in Duke Nukem 64. So, apart from they've all got different models and textures, the chain gun cannon is dual wielding MP5s, I think. That's way better. That was always way cooler, made a cooler sound. The RPG was a grenade launcher, which I thought was quite cool.
That's all right.
I love the sound. It always did like a. And it would explode. It was great.
Yeah, I remember that.
Not quite as good as the RPG, but they also gave you the missile launcher in Duke 64, which sort of was the equivalent of the RPG. But they also gave you heat-seeking missiles as well, so you could, shoot and they would follow the enemies. They were amazing.
That's pretty good.
The shrink ray was in it. The expander was in it. The Devastator was replaced with a plasma rifle, which was amazing.
So the green,
it was the big red gun.
Orbs.
And it shot. It was like the energy gun from Doom.
Yes, yeah.
But you could charge it up into like a big whopper,
a big one. Yeah,
and it would create like a big blinding flash and kill everything. It was amazing.
It was. I remember them. Yeah,
and that's why, like for me, like Duke 64 competes with 3D. Because it had those guns, and like the pistol had ammo called dum-dums, which were basically like
ones.
They were just basically mega damaging pistol rounds. I think you could only hold 24 or something like that.
Yeah. You had to press the one of the C buttons, didn't you, to swap the ammo?
I can't remember.
I think it was one of them. Is it?
I feel like if you
pick on the D-pad, on the D-pad,
I feel like if you pick up the special ammo, you have to use that first. That's in the gun because you got exploding shotgun shells as well, which was like a killer in multiplayer.
Yeah.
I don't think anything else. There was special heat-seeking missiles. But yeah, I think the guns were just generally a bit better in 64. But it's just they took out so much content and replaced it with family-friendly. Kid-friendly sort of stuff.
I always remember with the N64 one with the strippers, you couldn't.
They just kept dancing.
When you give, when they give you, because they give you because when you give them the money, the PC one is like
shake it, baby.
They flash, they flash you.
They flash boobies.
But I'm sure, and there's one that's got tassels. I can't remember which one that has. But it's got tassels. So they open it and they've got little tassels.
Yeah.
But on the N64 one, they just shimmy, don't they?
They do a little shimmy. They keep going. You don't see anything dodgy, and like,
and I'm sure what version is it where you can actually save the babes rather than killing them?
Duke 64
one. Is it? Yeah.
Yeah, they changed that again.
Yeah.
Like
Because in the other ones you have to kill them because they've been thinking by the aliens.
It didn't occur to me when I was a kid, but your way of saving these women in Duke 3D was you had to kill them. You euthanize them, basically.
Yeah.
But again, it's another aliens reference, where you come across the Sigourney Weaver comes across someone who's in a thing,
in the cocoon,
and then they say, "Kill me," and that's what the women say when you go up to them and interact with them in Duke 3D, and then you have to actually kill them.
Kill them.
But then in Duke 64,
what a waste of a good babe.
Exactly, yeah, poor Duke.
Yeah. But in 64, you go and it says like you saved the babe or something, little text, and they disappear in like stars or something.
Yeah, you go up to them, you interact with them, they vanish, little stars, and it says babe saved.
Yeah,
so it's nicer, you're actually saving the babe as opposed to murdering them.
As in the only way to save it is by murdering them.
Yeah, basically.
Yeah.
Yeah. What else is there? Spoke about the music, level designs.
The
enemies,
one-liners. We could go on for ages about the one-liners, but the one-liners are just awesome.
Yeah, and it's just, as you go through the game, you kill enemies, he'll say certain things. They tend to be rip-offs of famous action movie quotes or whatever.
Yeah.
I'll see if I can get some of them up.
Box art.
Sorry. Army of Darkness, baby.
Army of Darkness, isn't it? It's so good.
Yeah.
Just an absolute pure homage to one of the greatest films.
Yeah, and it's turned out to be, I think it's a better box art than Army of Darkness. I think it looks cooler. I think Army of Darkness is a very cool cover.
Yes, yeah.
But I just love the red tone, the fact that he's stood on the pig cops and stuff, and he's just blasting them as he's looking like badass and buff. I think
I always forget as well. Like, I remember the PC disc was the giant nuclear warning sign, and there's lots of that. Yeah.
Right, here we go.
The end of your levels are like big fucking nuke things that you've got to smash to fucking end level, which is always cool.
The top 10 Duke Nukem quotes.
Top 10? Oof.
According to grabitmagazine.com.
Alexa, stop.
Exactly. Alexa, know your role, pal.
Yeah, shut your pie hole.
I'm going to say it as it's quoted, but in post-production, I may get the actual Duke quotes if I can to replace me, because there's no one better than Johnson John to say these lines.
That is very true.
So number 10, your face, your ass, what's the difference? Quality. That's number 10, man.
Yeah, I know.
Number 9, now you see me, now you're dead. That's cheese. I love this one. Number 8, your ass is grass, and I've got the weed whacker. Number 7, you're an inspiration for birth control. Number 6, my boot, your face, the perfect couple. That's all right. Number 5, I'm an equal opportunity ass kicker. That's okay.
It's all right. Number 10 definitely way better than I did that.
Yeah, that's the Manhattan Project. Have you played Duke Nukem Manhattan Project?
I want to say yes.
That's pretty awesome. Like a return to 2D side-scrolly one.
I need to watch season C.
Number 4, little pig, let me in, or I'll huff and I'll puff and I'll kick your ass in.
I like that one.
Number 3, I've got balls of steel. Yeah. Number 2, hail to the king, baby.
That should be number 1.
Well, I've already told you number 1.
Really? Oh no.
It's time to kick ass and chew bubble gum. And I'm all out of gum. That has to be number 1.
No.
Yeah.
Hail to the king.
No way.
Yeah.
No way.
No way.
No way.
No way.
Way. Oh, yeah. So I may not use Johnson John now. I think we had too much fun doing it that way.
I know, yeah. Yeah. Just put his face up and then let us do the talking.
Yeah.
And see.
I'm better than Johnson John. 3D Realms or whoever it is now, 2K Games that do Duke Nukem. Hire me so you can make another Duke Nukem game for starters.
That's it, yeah.
Right, shall we score Duke Nukem 3 Dimensions?
The third dimension.
Ooh, the third dimension. Let's get the slag up. Oh, I can do magic now for the live stream viewers, especially.
No way. Can you bring it up at the same time? Oh mate, have you been messing around with these Steam Deck thing?
Yeah, I did this like a month ago, and it's like since we did. What's the last one we did? Was it Banjo Kazooie?
Homecast. Oh, yeah, Banjo, yeah.
The last retro
Banjo,
gack.
Yeah.
So since the last retro gack,
You've been busy.
Yeah, I incorporated it onto this frame, so I think it does make my life easier than redoing that same Photoshop thing all the time, and it was a very intricate thing that I made. Although I still like it very much, but we're upgrading. We can see
we're going professional.
The super leaderboard right underneath us, baby.
Can we? Oh my god!
So if you get on that stream now, you can see it.
No, I'm gonna have a look quick. Don't touch that dial.
Oh, don't touch that dial. We have the top 10 on display for everyone.
Oofed.
Topped with Resident Evil Remake 2002.
Oh, look at that.
It's cool, isn't it?
That's pretty cool.
So you got all the scores. You can see it all live as we're streaming now.
That's smart.
In second place, thank you.
Congratulations.
In second place is the original first-person shooter. Doom. Underneath that, in third place, is the next step. GoldenEye 007 in third. What score does Duke Nukem 3D get?
That's a tough one.
It is.
It is a tough one because it's not, to me, it is not as... It is as good as a game, but it's not as good as those at the same time.
This is where it's tough.
It's really tough.
There is like a magicalness about Duke Nukem 3D. There's something special about that game.
Yeah.
But it's also like if you say to someone, "Is it better than Doom?" Probably not. Is it better than GoldenEye? Probably not.
Definitely not. No.
Is it better than this? But it's still amazing. It's Duke Nukem, man.
Is it? I know that's the thing, isn't it? I think it's a game that you would have to have played as a kid when it had come out. Do you know what I mean? We love it because
properly appreciate it.
Yes, yeah, because it came out at that point, like we say, when gaming was progressing. It came out at that point, and we rode that sort of like wave of it was getting ported to everything, and it was everywhere, and you were part of it. You couldn't get away from it. Whereas now, as a gamer, it's there in the past. You know what I mean? You've got World Tour, which is the most recent one, and yes, you can play it, but you'll not have the same affinity as we have to it.
Yeah, I think we have to consider the original 1996 game, because like as much as I love Duke and I still play it now, I play the updated remastered versions of the game because they're the most convenient way with updated controls, graphics
60
and stuff.
frames a second. Yeah, because there is a mode that you can switch between the original and the newer graphics. It is rough as fucking houses. It is. I know that we have just waxed lyrical for about an hour.
Oh yeah, because it's still amazing.
Again, still just a good game. But yeah, going back to it's rough as houses. Still a bloody good game, but the crux of the whole thing is that it is not as influential and as good as Doom. Even though it came after and it's a clone, but it's still amazing in its own right.
It's still amazing.
It's really hard. It's really hard. And I'm racking in my head right now, just thinking of numbers, and I'm going 750.
Ooh, okay. I'm going 850.
Okay.
8.5. I absolutely adore this game.
I love it too. I do love it too.
I can't.
And it's 800,000.
I prefer Duke over GoldenEye. I can't remember what score I gave GoldenEye, but I can't give it a higher score than what GoldenEye got.
Yeah, that's the problem.
But I think
so. It's a joint 10th place with No Mercy,
which is good. It's
which is good. But,
I'm gonna.
If I'm being honest, I would. If I was playing for 5-10 minutes, Duke.
Yeah.
But if I wanted to sit down and think and have a good fun time with you, it'd be No Mercy.
No Mercy.
That I would rather. Yeah. I mean, we'll play. Now that we know that we can play this in co-op, we'll play this in co-op and have a laugh. But out of the two, I think if we were playing together, I would rather dick about on No Mercy than this. And it's
But that's the thing. It's take your pick, isn't it? Depends on your mood, and that's where it works. I mean, 10th place.
I've enjoyed playing this past week, like dipping in, and I've literally sat for like an hour while Steph's been watching something. Been playing it on my Switch, and it's been great. It's been fun. Do you know what I mean? Some of the levels, I did get lost on a couple of levels. That's because I've not played it for such a long time. It's not a bad thing.
But it's just old school level design as well, isn't it?
They're
designed to be a bit confusing, a bit tougher than what you get nowadays. So
yeah. And I can I was playing on normal mode, and it's fairly hard on normal. It's quite a hard game.
Let's rock.
Yeah.
I'm a come get some guy. I love the extra enemies. I love the extra enemies. Isn't it?
Yeah, so I think I'm gonna go on easy when I carry on playing through level 2 and 3.
Doing it on the hardest is a challenge because the enemies come back to life unless you explode the body.
They do, don't
they?
Yeah.
I love it. I love it. It's so hard, but I love it. It's a good challenge. If people are good at the game and they enjoy the game, play it on that difficulty because it's such a challenge.
Unless you've got like a million pipe bombs. Odd.
Because in Duke 3D you can't actually shoot the bodies when they're on the floor and explode them, but you can in 64. I'm 90% sure in 64 you can shoot the bodies and disintegrate them basically.
There you go.
More pro tips. Duke pro tips. Come to me. Tweet me. Fax me. Phone me if you want any Duke tips. 0800 Duke tips. Not a real number.
That sounds like a fucking gigolo hotline, doesn't it?
Hey, I'm Duke Tips.
Hi, welcome to Duke's Tip.
Oh, right, we better end this before before the content gets worse. But 10th place for Duke. I'm actually quite happy with that. I'm glad to see Duke on the leaderboard.
Well, he's not behind. He's behind No Mercy.
Well, I still might put him up just because he's the most recent, up-to-date one. Oh, he's Duke, baby.
That's fair.
Duke, hail to the king, baby. Anyone that quotes Ashley Williams is on my top 10, baby.
Yeah, no, that's fair, actually, yeah.
Right. Until next time, it will be List Me Baby one more time.
Oh, what are we doing?
The Christmas special.
Are we not doing that like at Christmas?
Well, it's December, innit? Everyone's already watching Christmas films.
Do you know what? Yeah, I'll say to Steph, see if she wants to join.
And don't forget, it takes me an extra week to edit and put them up. Potentially 2 or 3 weeks, so pre-planning.
We'll do it next week. We'll do 5 each.
Is that what you're doing? We're going to do a combined one here.
It's
going to be interesting because like already my top 5 and in Carrie's top 10. So we're going to have a weird top 10.
Oh, great.
But then it'll cause lots of arguments.
That's fine.
Friction. It's going to be fun. How could she not have Die Hard in the top 10?
Mate, well, I was going to say we're going to have the same fucking, more or less, same.
Yeah, definitely. I think so. Yeah, I think so. It'll be quite funny. Anyway, till next time. Cheers, bro.
Bye.
Get liking, get subscribing. Love you, bye.